Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. We're getting started with part 2 of our Cabral HouseCalls. Hopefully, you got a chance to tune in yesterday. If not, that's okay. You can always go back, listen to previous shows at stephencabral.com/podcast. Today, though, we are going to get into more of our community's questions. We answer these every Saturday and Sunday on the Cabral Concept, and we've been doing that now for about 3 years, well over 3,000 questions answered. I want to find out the exact number. I said I would do that, so I'm going to see what that is. And of course, we're about 11 weeks or so behind in answering your questions because we answer them at the time that as they come in the order that they come in. So today we're starting with February 1st. So we're getting into February's questions. I know that it's the end of April. We're doing our best. And remember, you can always get your questions answered right over at cabralsupportgroup.com. My health coaching team does an amazing job over there every single day answering your questions as they come in. Same with the entire community, 5,000 people strong almost now. Check it out. Pretty amazing. Hope that you join us. All right, let's dive in to today's questions and see what we have. So Luke is up first. Luke's asking, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thanks in advance for answering my questions. I found you on Ben Pakulski's podcast, and I've been hooked on the knowledge that you have to offer ever since. As my wife and I have found ourselves adopting a much healthier and more natural lifestyle, we completed the 21-day detox and are taking the daily foundational protocol level 1. Eating all organic, and my wife is taking the prenatal package. Hopefully by the time you read this, she will be pregnant, and my questions are related to pregnancy. Question 1. I've read that ultrasounds can be harmful to the baby, and they should be limited or even avoided. My question is, are they necessary, and what else can you do to substitute for ultrasound so that we know that our baby is developing safely? Let me answer these as we go through. Okay, so appreciate you, Ben Pakulski, amazing guy. Glad that you tuned into that interview I did on his show. Okay, happy to see that you're doing the daily foundational protocol and that you did the detox and that, that was written in February 1st. I do hope that you and your wife, have conceived and that you do have a baby on the way, which is fantastic. So ultrasounds, here's my thought. Yes, they can be harmful to the baby. My goal with ultrasounds is to do as many as needed, but not more. That's my philosophy with, again, my own family when my wife and I had our 2 daughters, and as many as needed, but not more. So as many as needed, what does that mean? You want to make sure that the baby is developing healthily and safely, and ultrasounds can actually be very important for that. They can look at delayed intrauterine growth. They can look at, and this is not, again, I just want to put this out there. This is not my expertise for sure, but I can just give you from a toxicity-based perspective and obviously someone that studies natural health, the perspective on that. So it can look at the amount of fluid, amniotic fluid. So all of this is important to look at, but there are a lot of people who go like, oh, I want to go once a month, and that is a bit much. So as many as needed, but never more. Okay, and you can speak with your doctor specifically about that. Just say, we're trying to do as few as possible. Let us know what the minimum would be. And let us know, of course, if you see anything, and then we'll do a follow-up. And that makes sense. Okay. Question 2. We are interested in having the most natural birth possible. What are your thoughts on home births, and what do we need to do to have in place to make sure that we have a safe and healthy pregnancy? We live in Australia and told that home births are dangerous, and we are struggling to find support for our family and friends with this idea. If a home birth is not an option, then what else could you do or what would you recommend? I have seen many friends who have had hospital births and they seem far from natural. That is concerning, and they have all had complications. Thanks again for all you do, and thank you for taking the time to respond. Cheers. All right, Luke. So right now I would love you to head on over to stephencabral.com/podcasts. And I'm going to see if I can find it as well. And I want you to go to the search bar and I want you to type in happy pregnancy. All right, let's see what pops up. We've got it. All right. It works. The search bar works. Okay. Episode 522. This is a big one. Getting pregnant and having a healthy, happy pregnancy. Episode 522. Please check that out. That will give you everything I think that you need and more. I also did a podcast with Melissa Ambrosini on this topic as well. Okay. So here's the thing. We were planning on, for my first daughter, going to a birth center. I don't think I've ever shared this before. A birth center, Cambridge, Massachusetts. But towards the end of the pregnancy, there ended up being some complications. Because of that, we decided not to go with the birth center, which would have been basically a home birth. But the home birth is not in your home, but in a bedroom in this birthing center. And they would have baths and they would have a doula there. And then it's basically 100 yards from a hospital. Not even 100 yards. It's 200 feet from a hospital. So, if there's ever complications, then you'd be able to go to the hospital. Okay. We did not end up doing that because of potential complications. Everything ended up going great. And it was not an easy labor for my wife. And I give her all the credit in the world. She's amazing. And she was still able to do natural birth how she wanted to, but it was inside of a hospital. Okay. For our second daughter, we decided that we were not going to do the birth center, but we wanted to do it with midwives and still do a natural birth. And a hospital that we found, which is down the street from us, called Mount Auburn Hospital. So if you're in Massachusetts, you can go to Mount Auburn Hospital in Cambridge, and they have a whole floor that is just dedicated to essentially natural birth. And it's a hospital, but it's a floor that they understand the women on that floor deciding to have a natural birth, and they have tubs in every room. It's much more like homey, like, I don't know if that's even the right word, but it's more comfortable. And you're seeing a midwife the whole time rather than a physician. It's less hospital-like. There's very little intervention at all, but they're there to check on you. They are there to deliver the baby and make sure everything goes well. And then you're in a hospital with everything if anything is ever needed. And was my second daughter's birth, and that went really well. And we were very happy with the midwives there. So yeah, I mean, that's just different ways of doing it. Again, like, I never judge anyone, and however anybody wants to deliver their child is their prerogative, meaning like they can use pharmaceuticals or not use pharmaceuticals. They can do a C-section or not do a C-section. Some women have to have a C-section, an emergency C-section. So like, there's never any judgment from my standpoint. And I simply want to give the information so people can do the best with what they have. We used a doula even the first time around, even though it was in a hospital. The second time around, we didn't use a doula, but we had midwives there that we met with every, couple months. They were both very good experiences. And again, there's obviously pros and cons to each. I wouldn't let people scare you about doing a home birth, but there can be complications. And so you just want to make sure you have a qualified practitioner if they're helping you along with the home birth. And then if not, you might be able to find a midwives-based hospital to do that at. Okay, great question. Kelly's up next. Good morning. I was listening to a podcast with Lucas Rockwood where you were the guest speaker. You mentioned a correlation between the gut microbiome and epilepsy. I know this isn't the place to explain my backstory, but I'm interested in diving into this further and wonder if this is something you work with people. I'd be more than happy to book some time with you, much like your backstory and taking your health into your own hands. I'm proactive and want to do the same. Navigating through the BS is the hardest part, and really looking for a starting point. Let me know your thought. So thank you, Kelly, for writing in. And of course, if anybody has a question like this and they want just to say like, oh, how does your practice work? You can always just email support@stephencabral.com, support@equilibriumnutrition.com. Your email will make it to the right place and we'll get you helped out. So with epilepsy, just like anything that's also triggered by inflammation and stress, the gut does play a role without a doubt. Here's a couple things. You can absolutely work with us in the private practice. No doubt about it. Of course, we'd be happy to work with you, but you could also run an organic acids test, a stool test to really look at what's going on with the gut, or run the whole big five, which is what I would do with anybody with epilepsy, because you want to look at omega-6 levels to omega-3. You want to look at heavy metals. You want to look at the gut microbiome. So I would run the big five plus the stool. And if you did that, I still read over the labs, and it will be basically the same. You'll save probably 50% by just doing it online at equilibriumnutrition.com, purchasing the labs, and then getting started that way. But if you want the personal touch of working with someone one-on-one for those 3 appointments to start, then you're welcome to, Kelly. So just let us know how we can help. And just on a really quick note, again, look into CBD oil, especially the organic CBD oil that we offer right now at stephencabral.com. /CBD-store, which is clinically proven to help with epilepsy, seizures, tics, and neurological-based disorders. Okay, Stephanie is up next. Hello, I'm writing to you to see if you can help me. Previous history, I deal with depression and anxiety. Haven't been able to find a medication that works yet. It has been a process. The biggest thing I'm dealing with is chronic fatigue and inflammation. If that is a thing, diagnosed. I have had numerous blood tests for thyroid and B12. The tests come back normal. I always thought what I've been feeling is due to depression, but in my gut, I know that isn't what it is. I wake up in the morning and my stomach is flat. And the moment I drink water, my stomach gets very distended. The fatigue I feel and gut issues I'm having had to be related, but I'm no doctor. I'm very into health and fitness. I work out regularly and I track my macros so I know what I'm eating. I live a very healthy lifestyle. I'm from Canada and the doctors I've been dealing with haven't helped me. I'm hoping you can offer some insights as I feel very stuck. I hope you can help me. Stephanie, I'm happy to help. So if you drink water and your stomach gets distended, we need to do a stool test right off the bat to look at H. pylori. Okay, that's one. The second is that you might have very, very low stomach acid. So we want to look at that. Even just using something like a digestive enzyme may help tremendously. So that's just where to start. And then I would look at an organic acids test for overall bloating, candida, bacterial overgrowth. So a couple things. Stool test first. Organic acids test second. If you want to do one more, I would do the food sensitivity test. And that's where I would start. That's absolutely where I would start. Now, if you wanted to look for mineral levels, such as low selenium and zinc that can factor into the nervous system as well, then I would run the hair tissue mineral analysis. So I'll let you decide where you want to start. Of course, I always recommend the big five to everyone if it fits within their financial budget, just because the amount of data that you get is unsurpassed. I mean, it's unbelievable. But I'll let you decide on that, Stephanie. That's where I would go. Then we'll get you the exact, basically personalized protocol just for you based on your labs and based on the story that you have. That's it. Again, you've been dealing with this for a long time. My recommendation is no more guessing. Let's test. Let's figure this out. And let's get you on the path to feeling well in both mind and body. All right. Jenna's up next. Hi, I'm very interested in taking your integrative health practitioner course. I saw that you are not accepting students at this time. Will you be opening more spots in the near future? Thank you. All right, Jenna, thank you for writing in. Our integrative health practitioner program opens up every 1 to 2 months. We won't be doing monthly for sure this summer. We are right now. And our next opening, let's see when our next opening is, because I don't actually know when the next opening is. I know the content I create for it, but I don't have the schedule. So let's see what my team has in there. May 6th. May 6th is the next opening to the integrative health practitioner. We actually didn't open last month, so that might be why you didn't see it either. We don't open every month. Last month was a very private one just for current members of IHP to refer their friends and family if they wanted to before we do a big opening in May. We only allow 100 openings only. The 100 spots are taken, then we close up shop, and that is it. There is no more openings. And the reason is that we simply don't want this to be about numbers. It's not the goal. The goal is taking the best care possible of all of our students inside of IHP. This means that you literally get an email welcoming you. You get a live monthly phone call or live monthly Facebook group call with myself. I answer questions inside the group. You have access to our email team. We have our private Facebook group that you ask questions on there. So it's a pretty amazing group. And the course is for those people to teach anyone out there how to heal themselves and then how to heal others. And the certification is for those people that want to be able to take this to the next level. They take the quizzes with each module, and when they pass, they can be a certified health coach and begin to help others as well, whether part-time or full-time. Okay, Alana is up next. Hi, Stephen. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, and I've been following Ayurvedic vegan diet for the past 3 years, and I've done intensive PachaKarmas in India with very recognized and profound Vedas. I do know the importance of a good PachaKarma centers, as I have worked in ones that are dangerous. These have been very beneficial for my mind, but physically my symptoms are still there. I wonder how a functional medicine detox differs from PachaKarma. I understand in Ayurveda PachaKarmas, it rids the body of toxins. This is a quite long answer, so I want to go through it. I wonder though if they heal candida, so I'm just going to ad-lib this question. I've had digestive issues my whole life. My Ayurveda doctor tells me that it'll go away. It's excess vata and chronic constipation. I've ordered the 21-day detox, intestinal cleanse, and CBO protocol, and I plan to do them. Yet I wonder if the CBO protocol will still be beneficial without doing the lab testing first. I feel as if my fatigue is even more dominant now, and with my struggles. My Ayurvedic diet has helped me tremendously with digestive ease, but I've not reached a vibrant, energetic state, yet almost daily constipation and bloating. I wonder what you recommend, and also for the future, does a functional medicine detox differ from PachaKarma? Okay, they're very different. I mean, very, very different. So PachaKarma, I've done a whole episode on it. I did an interview on Ben Greenfield's podcast on PachaKarma. So again, let's check this out. Let's see if it's on the podcast page. And let's just type in Pancha, P-A-N-C-H-A. I don't think I have any other words in the podcast that would be like that. So let's check this out. There's only 4 results. The Forgotten Knowledge of Removing Toxins, which is AMA, on episode 958. So check out that show. All right. It's also written about in my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. So you'll read all about PachaKarma there. So here's the thing. PachaKarma does a great job. It removes heavy metals. It removes plastics. It removes DDT. It removes phthalates. We know that. We can see it. We've done tests on sweat and on urine on doing PachaKarma with the special massage, with the detox saunas or the sweat lodges or the sweating, with the different Ayurvedic-based herbs. So yes, PachaKarma is amazing and it works well. But I'll tell you, it does not get rid of candida overgrowth, SIBO, C. diff, or parasites. PachaKarma is not meant to work on those things. It does help with removal from the body. But 2 things. The functional medicine detox is very different than PachaKarma. Functional medicine detox gives you all of the phase 1 and phase 2 nutrients needed to speed up liver detoxification. PachaKarma helps loosen the toxins, and as long as your liver is working well enough, then it will remove it from the body. But if you're constipated, it won't. That's why when I was over in India and Sri Lanka, and I was working in the clinics, we gave people laxatives to have 3, 4, 5, 6 bowel movements per day to make sure this was always out of the body. Because they weren't using specific phase 1, phase 2 detoxifiers, except maybe some milk thistle, for sure. Okay, a couple other things. And don't get me wrong, there's herbs that they use, which are great. But just, again, functional medicine gives you targeted approach. In PachaKarma, you're sweating a lot of it out. That's a big thing. That's different than a detox. So they're just different. I mean, in an ideal world, you're doing a functional medicine detox while going through PachaKarma. I mean, that's like the best of all worlds. So the CBO protocol, which is the Candida and Bacterial Overgrowth Protocol, works regardless of whether you've done the lab testing or not. The lab testing with the organic acids test just tells you if you have yeast or fungal overgrowth, if you have bacterial overgrowth, if you have Clostridia bacterial overgrowth. The stool test tells you if you have bacterial overgrowth, parasite overgrowth, and H. pylori. So that's what it does. And also, I just want you to recognize that I appreciate and love to see people work towards a more plant-based diet. But if people aren't doing a vegan diet right, especially as a Vata body type, I mean, it is really exhausting for the body. Vegan diets I've seen work phenomenally well for more of the endomorphic body type, kapha body type, naturally anabolic. I've been on a vegan diet, vegan lifestyle many times in my life. And you know my story that I couldn't keep up with it. Wanted to, tried it 3 times, different periods of time. And again, you know that I'm predominantly plant-based and only eat the right amount that I need for my body of fish or whatever it might be. But it doesn't work for everyone. Now, if you're doing a vegan diet because of spiritual-based reasons and you just refuse, then I understand that as well. Now you just need to make sure you're using supplements to supplement what your body is low on to get enough protein. Because a lot of people on a vegan-based diet, they're not even getting 30, 40 grams of protein a day. And as a Vata body type, you need a bit more. So just keep that all in mind. Again, I know people will come back and say, well, there's protein in vegetables. I understand. I get it. Believe me, I understand. But the problem is, and when you look into Ayurveda, there's also anabolic foods and more catabolic foods, and those plant-based foods are more catabolic. Now, oatmeal with its 6 grams of protein is going to be helpful for Vata. Hemp hearts is going to be very helpful. It's something that I do every day to cut back on any type of animal, fish, egg-based protein. But just keep in mind, something to think about, all right? Because I try to be unbiased. I try to give all angles, take myself, my beliefs, everything out of the equation, and simply give you what I know works. I mean, what I know works from almost 20 years and more than 250,000 client appointments. All right, let's get one more question in. And it's from Mary. I know I went a little longer on these questions today. I feel like some of them needed it, so hopefully it was okay. Mary's up. Hello, Dr. Ball. Thank you for your opportunity to ask a question. My 28-year-old daughter started suffering from intermittent migraines at age 16. They progressed now to severely chronic daily migraines. She has tried gluten, dairy, sugar, salicylate, amines, coffee-free diets on multiple occasions with no reduction in the number of migraines. She also has a good diet with reducing histamine foods, not perfect considering keto. So she goes through all the different things she has tried. She has had trouble sleeping, digestive problems for 2 years with bloating, medication she needs every 2 hours. She's very low BMI. Okay, well, that's very helpful. She's had blood work. Results other than imbalanced estrogen and progesterone and low in iodine, which was corrected. She has lost her ability to function in everyday life due to chronic pain. This is a tragedy as she is young and a wonderful person. If she's looking into triptan if necessary so she can have 2 pain-free days while something improves. Okay, so here's the thing. I really believe with migraines, we can figure this out. I've done many podcasts on migraines. I would love you to simply type in migraine at stephencabral.com/podcast because I'm not going to be able to go through everything about a migraine headache. I won't be able to. With lectins and histamines, and I'm glad that you looked at that. I would look at what's called the trigeminal area around the jaw, neck-based area for blood flow in and out of the brain. I would look at TMJ-based issues, but also you might have given it away. The very low BMI combined with lower levels of progesterone or estrogen can lead to migraine headaches. So it's actually really good timing. This week, I'm introducing in level 2 of the Integrative Health Practitioner, the adrenal hormone lab, and I teach people how to read this lab so they can read it for others and help other people out there. Well, here's the thing. If women have high estrogen, they can have pounding headaches. If women have low estrogen, they can actually get migraines. Your daughter may have started getting migraines if her weight got too low and her estrogen went too low, and she's right around that perfect age at 16 where her hormones might be imbalanced because she should have not high levels of estrogen, but really strong levels of estrogen and progesterone at 16, 17, 18, all the way up to her early 20s. So really important to look at that. If those levels of estrogen and progesterone have not been corrected, we need to do that because that could be the exact issue of why she has a migraine. Please also check out the previous shows for other potential causes as well. Thank you so much for writing in. I know that you'll find your answer in this. I really believe it. I was a young kid too, dealing with a lot of these specific issues. I found my answers. It wasn't easy. It wasn't straightforward. Don't give up. You will absolutely be able to figure them out. So keep up the good work. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you listening. Appreciate you sharing. And for everyone that's reviewed the Cabral Concept on iTunes, I thank you. If you haven't reviewed it, I would love if you reviewed it. And again, just truly appreciate the community that we built here. Take care, everyone, and be sure to tune in tomorrow on our Motivation and Mindset Monday. Looking forward to that show. Have a great rest of the weekend. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.